All right, folks, it's time to move on to a highly anticipated review. Arguably the highest, or I should say, most anticipated review the Drive-In Pod has ever done. We are a year in, right? This is our 1-year anniversary. We brought on our second ever guest. Okay.
Third.
We have third. Who else we
Mayo.
have? We had Mayo.
J-Man.
J-Man. Sorry, J-Man. I apologize.
So, Doc, that's not going to look good.
I apologize.
He's not going to be happy with that.
We might have to cut it for J-Man. All right. I apologize profusely for that. But we have a super fan, a Fast and Furious super fan. We have the legend himself, Scotty Furious, to join the pod and join the review for today. So I just want to kind of introduce the audience to Scotty Furious. Why is he here today? Well, he's childhood friends with our own Ricky Flicks, but also we had a post on Instagram, all right, trying to hype up this new movie, right? According to Vin Diesel, quote, cinema is back after this opening weekend. That's a direct quote from Vin Diesel after this opening weekend. Movie collected $70 million at the box office. But here's what Scotty Furious said, right, before this movie dropped on Thursday. So we are trying to, Ricky Flicks posted on Instagram, trying to get the buzz going. Here's what Scotty Furious says, quote, Fast and Furious isn't just a top Hollywood franchise of all time. It's also a lifestyle. It's all about that family and living your life a quarter mile at a time. This will be my first movie returning to the theaters. Can't wait. Direct quote, end quote.
Yep, and that was true. First movie back in the theaters.
Okay.
So what was the prior one to this?
Oh, I mean, that's pre-COVID. So
yeah. Do you remember?
No.
Star Wars was December 19. Rise of Skywalker. Okay.
Yeah, and there was like literally no good movies like right at the turn of the year either. It was like Harley Quinn or something like that.
Invisible Man, which was good.
Man. Yeah. But really, I don't blame you for not remembering any of them.
Right. Yeah. I think The Gentleman.
It was Star Wars then.
Yeah, Star Wars, December traditionally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Star Wars.
Yeah, because this was the highest box office since then, since Rise of Skywalker opening weekend.
Cinema's back.
Cinema's back. Scotty Furious, first time on the pod. Wow.
So let's get to the film. Let's get going. Let's get the synopsis. Let's get the Rotten Tomatoes score. Then we're going to get into it, right? Might get a little heated here. We're really feeling it right now. So F9, not Fast and Furious 9, not Fast 9, just F9 is available to see only in theaters. This will be a spoiler review. Nothing held back. This currently has a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, has an 83% audience score, and a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Yikes. So let's hit the synopsis here. Dominic Toretto is living the quiet life off the grid with Letty and his son, but they know that danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, that threat forces Dom to confront the sins of his past to save those he loves most. His crew soon comes together to stop a world-shattering plot by the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered. Dom's forsaken brother. That's a hell of a synopsis.
He has a brother,
Such
folks.
a simple movie here. We're talking John Cena, folks. So let's start off with some knee-jerk reactions. I want to hear from Scotty Furious first. You leave the theater after F9. What's going through your mind?
Well, I hate to jump to the very end, but there was that little post-credit scene. Maybe we can save that for the end, a little teaser at the end. Don't want to go too early. But
okay.
Yeah, completely positive reactions. Can't wait for Fast 10. I mean, I'm going to be biased here, folks. Like, I love the movie. I'll try and save my bias when it comes to the review score, but walking out, it's the biggest smile on my face since Star Wars back in Christmas 2 years ago, like you were saying. Like, it's just being back in the theaters. Oh my gosh. And without even going to the IMAX, just cars revving, planes like soaring through the air. I mean, it's just,
We weren't even in IMAX and we were buzzing. Like that's a good theater experience. Like without the IMAX, but you could still get that sense, that entertainment factor from the cars buzzing. I don't want to keep using buzzing, but buzzing, blaring in your ear, and all the action sequences. Justin Lin, I thought, did a great job with that, and we didn't even see it in IMAX, which I thought is a positive for this movie.
Mm-hmm. All right. and the giddiness on Scotty Furious right now is getting to me. It's only making me smile, but I have to say, I didn't stay for the post-credit scene, and I knew there was going to be one. I knew there was going to be one, and I chose to leave, dude.
Wow.
I got to be honest, Scotty Furious, this movie was not good.
Oh, no.
This movie was not good, dude. This movie was not good. But I have to preface this. I am not a Fast and Furious guy. I have not seen all 9. And I've seen parts of Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't seen the whole thing. So I'm coming from a perspective. I'm almost like on the opposite. Like I'm almost biased in terms of I already have like a marks against this franchise, while you are already leaning towards like, I mean, this guy loves Fast and Furious movies. His name, for God's sakes, is Scotty Furious. So I agree with Ricky Flicks. The action was phenomenal, but guys, we're getting this movie was absurd. What I saw here was absurd. So I just want to rattle off a couple things. I want to hear your take on the action sequences. You knew we were into something nuts from the opening sequence there, okay? When it comes to when they're in the jungle, right? They're first introduced to John Cena and what's her Charlize Theron's character's name? What's her name? The villain?
Cypher. Yeah.
Cypher. Great name. Great action movie villain name. So right when you see them getting off the bridge, you see Dom Toretto and you see Letty saying, "Don't do it," hops off, somehow attaches onto a bridge and swings as if like, oh yeah, he meant for that to happen. And also to kind of jump into one of the end scenes, the magnets, dude, they got to take it easy with the magnets.
The magnets look sick though.
They were good, but it was almost crazy when, like, I think it was when Letty didn't take control of the tank yet, but there was literally 100 cars just flying into the tank, Well,
dude,
it's like you're pelting somebody with like I don't know, like wiffle balls or something. It's just like boom, boom.
But Dr. O, it's clear they haven't seen Fate of the Furious, because in that movie there was at least 100 cars coming down from like a top of a building right around in a limo. So if you want to talk about craziness and cars like just coming out of the air, I think Fate of the Furious set that up perfectly, where this one is like, all right, it's not necessarily believable, quote unquote, but you're ready for anything.
Right. And then Scotty, I want to know your take on like maybe what was your favorite action scene, and did it ever border the line of absurdity, or is this what you should expect when you go and see a Fast and Furious movie?
Yeah, I think you took the words out of my mouth. You have to go into it, especially after Fast 5. And just going back to Fast 5, when they're driving that safe through the city of Rio de Janeiro.
Oh yeah, baby.
Getting the safe around and like just destroying the entire city itself. From that point, you have to go into every movie knowing the absurdity. And yes, several times I look over at Ricky Flicks during the movie and you laugh. You kind of chuckle. So going into the movie and knowing the absurdity definitely helps not feel so what the heck am I watching? Like it's the absurdity. I mean, yeah, the opening scene, that was crazy. Once again, Dom catches Letty with his car. She gets
once again.
It's like they're using cars as trampolines. John Cena did it later in the movie. It's like you could just jump from 100 feet, land on a car. Like, send the car over. It's gonna be okay. Like, you can land on that. You will not get hurt whatsoever. You know?
Yeah. Hopefully people in real life know not to do that.
A lot of people love this franchise, Scotty Furious.
But Scotty, so I'm glad that you mentioned Fast 5, because before Fast 5, I was a Dr. O stan where I did not like the franchise. I just hate, like, obviously the scripts are terrible. Like the dialogue's horrendous.
No. I like the early ones.
No, okay, well, let me all right, fine then. I'm gonna be on my own here. Before then, like, obviously I love the first one. The second one's just like fun to watch. Paul Walker Tyrese comes into the frame. Eva Mendes, I don't know where she's been in Hollywood, but I don't know if she'll ever come back, but she was in that one too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hated Tokyo Drift. I'll say it. My least favorite out of the bunch. Oh, wait. Fast 4 was pretty bad too. But when they come to Fast 5 and Vin Diesel yells, "This is Brazil," that just changed my mind, where it's like, all right, from this point on, you just got to take these movies as they are, how absurd they are, how badly written they are. These are just Fast and Furious movies. You just have to enjoy them. So ever since then, I rewatched them this week. Every single Fast and Furious movie I rewatched this week, and I took them for as they were. And my God, I've changed
You
around.
watched every single Fast and Furious movie?
Except Tokyo Drift. I couldn't put my head to that. I couldn't
Dude,
do it.
I hate because like the reason I like the early Fast and Furious, that's a little bit of part of my childhood. And then when I think of Tokyo Drift, I'm thinking of Grits. My Life Be Like, one of that should have been in the best
Yeah.
original songs. Like that
Yeah.
song is so good. I'll put it on repeat all the time. But the only thing is, this movie, you got to kill the action sequences, and like they did. Like it was awesome. It was loud. It was banging. Cars flying everywhere. Just absolutely taking down an entire city. And they even reached the level where like they've had 9 of these movies in this one franchise. You got to keep building off one another, right?
Yes.
You gotta, like how are you going to outdo the next? That's where they're swinging on bridges, right? They're using magnets. Like that's like
They went to space in this one, Dr. O.
Space. They went to space. Don't tell Universal, but I was in the theater, so I had to see it today because I haven't been around. So I was like, I have to see this movie today. I went to this little theater. There was only 3 people in the theater. Me in the middle, like, and then with some popcorn, like feet up. Like, good thing no one was near me to smell my feet. But there's 2 people way behind me, right? So I'm watching it, and I got my phone out just because I wanted to have that moment on my phone when Fast and Furious went to space. I wanted that. And I want to tweet it out so bad, but I don't want Universal to get me in trouble. I also wanted to add, there's only 3 people in this theater.
Monday afternoon, folks.
It's not a massive theater, right? It's like pretty small. You can hear people are whispering and stuff. I was laughing out loud, and it was like I didn't know if this movie is so bad that it's good, or if it's just so bad that I'm laughing at it. I think I'm really torn between those 2. But there's just the absurdity of this movie. The fact that it went to space, it just shows like where is this franchise going to go with Fast and Furious 10 and 11. I don't even know what they can do.
Yeah, the absurdity level I was comfortable with in this movie until the space part. The space part was utterly ridiculous. They're duct taping themselves with hazmat suits, and they got saved by.
Don't even get me started with the Minion quote, bro.
Universal makes sense.
I literally stood up, thought about leaving, sat back down. I stood up, down.
But it, like, besides space, which was just stupid, and how they didn't die in space, I don't know. Like with the crash, made no sense. But besides that, I was comfortable with the absurdity level of this film. I really was, and I think it's because you just accept it. Like I accepted it from Fast 5 on. I know others people like Scotty Furious accepted it from day one. Dr. O still struggling. It just suck it up and accept it that this movie is just going to be, or this franchise is just different than other action franchises. Even like even a franchise that's called Mission Impossible, when they're jumping out of hell, when Tom Cruise is flying off the side of an airplane, a commercial airplane, or hanging
10
on,
times
like,
more realistic than this movie.
Yeah, just accept it. And I have. And I'm glad I did, because I actually really enjoyed going to see this movie, no matter how absurd it was.
Yeah. And yeah, the one last thing I'll say on that opening scene, is that was one of the ones they took. Half the trailer was that opening scene. Like, and we can get into later about how the trailer may or may not have pretty much given the entire story away. But yeah, that opening scene. One thing, and I bet I would catch more things once on a rewatch of this. When Dom hits that bridge at the kind of where it's attached to the island, they do a short kind of cut, and you see Dom crank the wheel, and the wheel kind of turns and almost hooks itself there. So at least they're trying to put a little bit of like Dom knew what he was doing. Like it took skill to be able to kind of hook the wheel around the kind of like hook on the edge of the bridge there. But I know that's absurd. Space.
You see, Dr. O, skill.
Yeah.
Skill.
They try, like, it's so funny when they try and make it grounded, when they try and make it like, oh yeah, these guys definitely know what they're doing. But they start off as like some car thieves that are just like doing street races. And all of a sudden,
they stole DVD players or VCRs.
All of a sudden, Ludacris knows what to do with a car when he's in space. Like, it's just nuts. Like, how does Ludacris have this role, dude? Like, I don't know how. Like, he was actually cast for. He does like okay in it for like a rapper who's not really traditionally an actor, but. You know who I couldn't stand? Like, we're gonna get into like the performances a bit here. Like Tyrese Gibson, dude, he's got to just shut up. Like, he's so annoying. I know you might like him. I know I may be upsetting you. Some of his like comic relief hits, dude. I would say half of those jokes, I was just like, this is all he does. Like it's just a one-liner joke.
He's the jokester of the group.
Yeah, but yes, but I don't think his jokes hit a lot of the time. Yeah. That's the problem with it. You know,
you're not wrong.
he's good at being the butt of the jokes too, though, which
Oh,
is
true.
Ooh, good
when
point.
when Tyrese and Natalie Emmanuel, right?
Yeah.
That's her name.
Game of Thrones.
Turn the magnets on and take his fork away when he's eating. I mean, that's a pretty, and that's even a little. I don't know if it's a callback, but he goes says that he's hungry. I believe that's from like Fast Five, when him and Ludacris are in the police cars, kind of causing havoc. He shows up and he yells, "I'm hungry!" Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it might be a callback, but I don't know, something I picked up on.
But that's another thing about this movie, like the F9 compared to all the other ones. This was even more of like a throwback movie. Like this, like was
So many
all for the
callbacks.
cameos, all for honoring the franchise. Like the Tokyo Drift guys were in this movie.
Yep.
They had to bring Han back.
Yeah.
Like this was all about the throwbacks. The what's it called? The when they go back to Dom's childhood, flashbacks. They had so many flashbacks. The Dom flashbacks, the Han flashbacks, like so many. And that's what this movie was all about. So like you have something as little as "I'm hungry," or you have Han coming back to like never dead, like
Right.
which was honestly okay.
It felt a little bit like, I was thinking about this. They wanted this, like the Fast franchise wanted this to be their Avengers, like Infinity War, where it's like all these films like coming to a culminate, like a pinnacle. Like you're having Han and you're having like all, like I thought for a second The Rock was going to show up. Thought for a second The Rock or Jason Statham was going to show up out of nowhere. I wouldn't have been surprised. Like you have Helen Mirren showing up, then like people that weren't traditionally in the franchise. Then you have like Michael Rooker then showing up. Then you have I don't know if I don't know. Have both of you seen Peaky Blinders?
Yeah. Oh my God. Michael Shelby.
Yeah, Michael shows.
He was John Cena.
They were nonstop cameos. Yeah, he was John Cena. I was shocked. I really my jaw dropped.
What an absurd thing to do! Like
just because he has like that little like curl in his hair, like John Cena does in the movie for some reason.
They tried.
But this movie, you bring up John Cena. I thought it was hilarious how in the beginning Cypher is like explaining like why he's white and then like why Vin Diesel is like Hispanic and like their family. She's like, yes, the Torettos are known for mixing their bloodlines. And
yes,
stuff like
she did say that.
I was like, come on,
come on, just
dude.
let it go. His name already has a K in it, which is like Jacob. Like, no, it's Jacob, but with a K. Like, what are we doing here? No offense to all the Jacobs listening.
We didn't even bring up the fact Cardi B showed up in this movie, boys.
Oh, that was an eye roller.
That was terrible. That she was coming back.
I did not get that.
Scotty Furious wasn't even happy with that in the theater. I remember we looked at each other.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's maybe news that she will be in the next one.
Yeah, she did mention that.
Diesel confirmed it.
Okay, yeah. So I guess they'll attach her character in somehow. But so I just didn't get it. It seemed like they knew each other, but we don't know that. She's never been in the series before. I didn't pick up on any, like all the names they were kind of rattling off real quick. None of those names rang a bell of like why you'd be there to save Dom there.
Right.
Yeah.
That it felt weird.
That was
like I haven't seen all the movies, but I'm like, definitely some of these people weren't here before. It's just, but I think it's more of like, yo, like I don't know why everyone has this desire to be in this franchise right now. It's so weird.
Money.
Yeah, but at the same time, like how much did Michael Rooker make for 5 minutes of screen time or 2 minutes of screen time? He couldn't have been paid much. Like everybody else is making $1 zillion. He can't be making $1 zillion too for 2 minutes of screen time. It was just nuts to me that like everyone wants to be a part of this franchise now. It's just like it's become that much of a global phenomenon. It's almost like a way of like marketing yourself as an actor. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. But very interesting. What were you gonna say, Flex?
The Michael Rooker, like his final scene when Dom goes to see him to see where John Cena Jacob is, and you find out he's in London. But he's like, he offers him a Corona, but Dom did not drink it. He did not drink it. It goes along with the I don't know, conspiracy or theory that like Corona and him have like a problem, like as in like with money and rights, as in like he's not getting paid enough and he's not gonna drink it.
Really?
That's just a rumor. I don't know about that, but I remember in Fast Furious 7 with Kurt Russell's character, he drank it then, but not in this one.
Mr. Nobody.
Yeah. Who disappointed he didn't like have a in-person cameo in this. That was unfortunate.
A lot of flashbacks, like you said before.
True.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job using him as kind of like the crucial character to like start this movie. He's the one sending the distress call to get Dom's crew going and moving like
Mhm.
starting this movie together.
The one that with Han.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, he has his distress call that somehow in the like blurry camera, Dom can see the cross from
Yeah.
Jacob's
Oh
neck.
my
That was-
god.
That's
On an
interesting how
iPad.
they get that on an iPad or whatever it was. So yeah, you get that crucial bit of information. Yeah, Mr. Nobody sends like coordinates to where Han's hiding out, where he's been hiding out for
Dude,
6
And the
that
years.
was
Mexican
that,
flag.
dude.
The
When
Mexican
they saw the
flag.
flag, like I've like what I've noticed is like, yes, this movie's all about the action. This writing was just to make it as convenient as possible for them to make sure that they were successful during this journey. They're just like in a random spot. What were they in Tokyo? Where were they? Again?
Tokyo. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just wait, it's this is my Mexico. Oh, there's a Mexican flag. Like, look how convenient is that?
That was
It's like when we
bad.
happened to be. I was just like, come on, get a little bit better than that. But I don't know. It's not what this franchise is about, really. So I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of John Cena as the villain in this, or one of the villains?
Go ahead, Scotty.
Start this off with I can't quite remember if this is the first time he's ever really played a big bad villain.
He was kind of the bad in Bumblebee, but not like the big bad.
Okay.
Obviously, he's not a Transformer.
Yeah, I mean, in his wrestling history, he's notoriously always the good guy, to a point where fans him now because he's always the good guy. So now, yeah, having to take a heel turn, as you might say, into a bad guy in this film. He played it as good as he could, I guess. They had The Rock at one point being the bad guy of Fast Five. He turns good by the end of that. And spoiler alert, John Cena, Jacob turns maybe not good. I'll actually stop that. Maybe he's not fully good.
Oh,
He teams up with Dom to stop the tank at the end of the movie, but then he leaves. He's not accepted into the group. He's not like given passage or any whatever the word is for like all the
He's not
laws
initiated.
he's broken,
yeah.
amnesty or whatever. Like
Yeah, I
he's
feel
not
like-
given that.
Yeah.
True.
I totally agree with you. I feel like it's hard to follow up from what The Rock and Jason Statham both did. I think those are two, in my opinion, are the Furious 7 and Fast 5 are the best two in the franchise in my eyes, because those are the like two best villains. Like those are they have the best villains, so it makes an overall great movie, or good movie, I should say. But it's just hard to follow up with that because John Cena, like, what has he been in recently? Like he was in that Firefighter comedy movie. And he was in Blockers, which I thought he was fantastic in. Like, I think he's better in comedic roles, to be honest, than these serious, like muscle bound roles, if you know what I mean, right? I don't think it was bad necessarily, like some people are saying, but I just think that it's tough to follow up from Jason Statham, aka the Transporter, or The Rock. You know, it's just tough to follow up.
I think it's also like you brought up The Rock and Jason Statham. They have a lot of charisma. And then it seems like so does John Cena. But the way he played this role, he was basically playing Vin Diesel, his character. He was playing Dom. He was just like, you almost felt like he was his twin in the movie. It was like literally
brothers.
they acted the same exact way. Right. And I thought there was more of a difference actually with like the younger actors of those two versions. I thought they did a better job, arguably, than the actual two guys. Like that's what I thought. And but also
Michael Shelby.
We're talking about, I'll let Scotty Furious make a comment. It looked like he was about to say something about it. So go ahead. And then I wanted to move on to like the other cast and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I know I'm going to be all positive on this, but I think you may have a strong point of the younger versions maybe being a better actor of the role. I mean,
Younger
I
Dom.
thought those flashback scenes were great.
Younger Dom.
Yeah, no, those were really good. Yeah, so
I will say this.
I might have to, yeah.
I'm going to agree with you both, but Scotty Furious, outside when we were walking out together, what was one of the first things you said to me about Vin Diesel in this movie? Do you remember? You said you said he was a lot clearer. You could understand him a lot better. And I agree with you.
Right,
I agree
exactly.
with you. Like I don't.
It's hard.
Yeah.
He says 5 words in a sentence, dude. Like it's like hard to like. How do you screw up these lines? He didn't really, because it was hard to like. He didn't really have much. It felt like the dialogue was so weird in this movie. I know I've only seen bits and pieces of the other ones, but like everything they say is a cliche, and then it's a one-line sentence, and it feels like they're trying to be the most dramatic. Like there's no like normal conversations being had at any point in this franchise. They're just never talking like normal people. They're always just saying like family is everything, this, that, this, that. I'm just like, dude, like I need a break from the way you guys are talking right now. Like it was bugging the crap out of me. Right. And that makes you roll your eyes more. So like you already know the action is so outlandish. And then they're talking like that. They're just going full like 80s action movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think that if you kind of go what I was saying before, if you accept it and just, you're not going to get it, like what you want with the dialogue, and just accept like, hey, you're here to just watch Vin Diesel on screen and just be Groot, a human Groot.
I knew it was coming.
I
knew it was coming. Like I know what the franchise is all about, but it's not going to change the fact like I'm going to roll my eyes. I'm going to laugh out loud at stuff I shouldn't be laughing about, you know? So then it's like the movie in terms of the writing, making it so convenient. And then it's also having all these characters that are coming out of nowhere. And it seems like it's just a huge marketing ploy for a lot of these other actors. It just felt really weird at times, But that's why the movie makes so much goddamn money. It makes so much money. It's gonna go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, with that, like, so all these like minor characters showing up. With if it's gonna be for more money or for like spin-off movies, I think some of these characters only had small roles because they might just have. I think like the Tokyo Drift crew had a pretty small role because there might be a Tokyo Drift 2. I'm not sure what the timeline would be on that, but
that would be something.
Yeah, that's why maybe some of the characters, like you said, it's like, well, why are they even really in here? Maybe it's for future purpose. Or Han's daughter had a really small role. I say daughter. Daughter, you want to call her. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like, what if like Han gets his own spinoff, like with Mr. Nobody, like a little prequel to this movie? Like, what has he been doing for all these years, right? Or maybe like, I don't know, like what you said with Han's daughter and Han, or I don't know, like maybe like Mr. Nobody and John Cena when John Cena was like doing spy missions with Mr. Nobody. Like there's so many spin-off ideas that they haven't even touched yet. To go along with Hobbs and Shaw, like that, like continuation of that. So there's so many like options here. And I think with the biggest one, obviously the biggest like headliner is Fast and Furious 10, having 2 parts, basically being 2 movies. Like, what are they going to do there? Like, I have no idea. Scotty Furious, like any ideas for that one?
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm a super fan, but I hadn't heard that their Fast 10 would be split into 2 parts. Is that a theory or?
No, it's happening.
It's 2 parts.
Back to back.
Really? Okay. That's
breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have that many characters. You can make a 6-hour movie split into 2. Like, you can, yeah. They one thing, and I'll agree. Writing like isn't the best. And one thing they've done it better in movies, kind of the pace of it. How the pace of this movie could have been a little better. It was just scene after scene after scene. There wasn't even really transitions. It was just hopping from one country to the next. Like,
I agree. Good point.
So yeah, that was real fast, and that's just because they have so many characters. They had like 3 storylines, like all going at once with all
the flashbacks going on.
Yeah, with the flashbacks too. It's like they get all those storylines just to kind of get to one main line for like the back half of the movie, where like it's then that last kind of heist. I don't even know what country they were in when they were trying to take down the tank, but they kind of all the crew all kind of yeah exactly yeah. But I'm excited where all these different characters that we haven't even really talked about today like could go. Like there's just so many of them. There really is.
And I know like that's something they've talked about like with the franchise. I know Vin Diesel's made comments too where like yes, 10 and 11 are gonna be the last ones, but there are going to be plenty of spin-offs. I don't know if you guys saw what Vin Diesel also said. He wants to make a musical, a Fast and Furious musical, and we already know how much of a fan me and Ricky Flex in terms of the song that Vin Diesel came out with last summer absolutely blew the doors.
Should have been in this movie.
Yeah, it should have been in this movie.
Make it in the post credits or something. Like, come on now.
But yeah, we're gonna put at the end of this episode too, or maybe just insert it right there. But I mean, I'd be all in on that idea too. No Flex.
Yes, because I think this would make the same amount of money. It would make a fortune because you had to see Vin Diesel singing on the big screen. That would be something.
It'd be funny if he just like perform karaoke, like singing Fast and Furious songs, going from bar to bar in different states. It seemed like that's more of his vibe, or maybe just goes on tour and it's like fast, or maybe they do Fast and
He should
Furious on
do
ice or something like that.
Fast and Furious on Ice. Oh my
Something
god.
will happen.
He should be like with I don't know, like Kygo or something, like a EDM artist, and like open up for Kygo or something.
Yeah.
He just say every concert he's there. He's only there for 2 minutes though singing, and then he just doesn't do anything for the rest
Right.
of the time.
Just
I
fist
don't hate
bumping.
that idea. Oh my goodness gracious! I think it's time we throw out some scores. What do you boys say?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I want to save Scotty Furious for last though. I want to save his for
appreciate it.
last. I want Ricky Flex to go, then I'll go, then we'll be got with Scotty at the last pick.
So I think we all, the listeners, I think you understand where we're all coming from here. But before I give my score, I just want to say, I think with a movie like this, it automatically did its job. Okay. So like, I think it has like a minimum score of at least like a 40 at minimum. All right. But I'm going to go as high as a 57 on this. I think 57 out of 100 isn't that bad if you put this like against other movies that just don't like the dialogue's that bad. I think it did its job. The action scenes were good. I wish the villain was a little better, more concrete. Like Charlize Theron still, like, to me, it was weird that she was in that box with a, like, I don't know what the heck that was. That was just weird. The whole villain aspect of this movie. Yeah, it's just
the movie. She's stuck in a box.
Yeah, like it's just everything about the villain aspect with John Cena and Charlize Theron, and then the other guy just seemed very off to me. And obviously, I think Scotty Furious, what you were saying about the pacing or the transitions and everything like that, tough. But 57 for me, Doc.
All right. I did give it a 40. That is my score.
Wow.
And I was thinking about going lower, and you're right. It does, I wouldn't say it does its job, but it has the elements that any Fast and Furious fan wants to see. And that's the most important thing. They're not concerned about winning Oscars. They're not concerned about even like having like, I don't know, just any way, like they're not, because there are movies in the franchise that have critically done decent, right? And they're not
Yes.
all like crap or anything like that, but it did its job in terms of the action. I feel like the writing is just taking a beating at this point because I think the creativity for this franchise, it's running on low. It's running on low. We hit space. I don't no idea what 10 and 11 are going to go, but I think the absurdity of this franchise is at an absolute peak right now. I feel like there's no way the other one could be more absurd. It might even tone it down a bit. Maybe it's more of like, I guess almost like the Avengers, like Endgame or Infinity War, massive cameos like this one. But I guess continuing, kind of wrapping up Dom's story. Also, they brought up the fact that like the writing, what would have made the writing a little bit easier, like, or made the audience kind of understand the movie better. It's like you talk about like being invincible, and like I know Tyrese Gibson's character kept on saying we're invincible. Well, like no one died at the end of this movie, so it's like you could have said, like, you could have made it more realistic, like, yo, everyone's not invincible. You maybe have more of an emotional touch, because there's many opportunities to have an emotional touch to this movie that was lacking. You could have had something there
With him, with his character in Ludacris at the end in space. It would have been I think Scotty was saying this yesterday. Just it would have been perfect if he ended up dying. It sounds terrible to say, but like that whole point, like maybe we're not invincible, but we could save the world. Yeah, right.
Literally, I was thinking the same thing. Like that would have been a great ending to their quote unquote arc for the movie. Like they literally, that's what they talked about. And Tyrese Gibson, even at the beginning of the movie, like surviving, saying and making that speech, it would have wrapped everything up so well. And I just don't think they can kill anybody, because if they do, it's like I think the fans will complain, and the fans already expect like it doesn't. It's like no way anybody leaves the franchise, right?
And the actors want to keep getting that payday.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I had to go 40 out of 100, and I was trying to be nice about it. I would have been harsher if I didn't like understand that this is a Fast and Furious movie late in the franchise, you know?
Furious.
Gotti.
Okay. So people might expect, being the super fan that I am, I'm going to give it some type of crazy, ridiculous score. I'll refrain from that. I'll try and give the score and be
of integrity,
be accurate to how I kind of feel, and I guess maybe in comparison to how I felt about some of the previous movies. So I'll go 75 out of 100. That's what I'm feeling, because some of the movies before, they would have maybe gotten to the high 80s even. and I know I can talk about him forever, but if we're gonna give a score, try and fairly rank it, gotta fall to 75.
So
And that's maybe with some of the kind of absurd action sequences we saw, with some of the kind of a little like laughable writing, just kind of chuckling to yourself when scenes you're not supposed to be laughing. Um, just the amount of cameos that we're seeing that don't even necessarily make sense that we're trying to like put the storyline together afterwards. But yeah, no, I think 75 is pretty accurate, and yeah.
so where does this rank in the Fast and Furious franchise, Scotty?
My next question.
Yes, that's a good question. So off the top of my head, it's definitely better. It falls in the middle, and so if we're looking at maybe the original Fast Five, Fast Seven, so Fast 1, 5, and 7 probably fall above it.
Mm-hmm.
Just think those were just stronger in terms of like the story, and I think Fast Five. I think we made a couple references to it today. That was the best. Fast Five is probably as good as the franchise will ever be.
That's when The Rock
And
came, right?
exactly. Yep. He showed up and he made a big difference, and that's why he's been in every movie besides this one. This is the first one he's not been in. And yeah, I don't know how many characters you can say about that. From like when they were introduced to the series, like not missing a movie besides this one I'm saying now. But and then you got your Tokyo Drifts and Too Fast, Too Furious. Like those ones kind of fall. The Fate of the Furious kind of fall a little
Great
bit lower
names.
than this, I'd say.
What's
yeah.
what's the worst one though?
Good.
The worst? I'd probably say. I mean, I enjoy it, but Too Fast, Too Furious. That
Wow.
one with, I think that one kind of, I don't know. After the very first one, that one was so well done, and they come back with Too Fast, Too Furious.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't match it. It was really, really tough to
Interesting.
follow up the original. So yeah.
Sorry,
Wow.
Doc. What are you gonna say?
I'm captivated by the fandom of one Scotty Furious. You and Ricky Flicks, the fact that you watched all these movies in 1 week, I'm inspired to at least watch 2 of them in the next week. So I'll be watching Fast Five. I've seen Fast Five before. That's one of the few in the later ones that I've seen, and I've seen the early ones. But I'm gonna give Fast Five and Fast Seven a watch. I'm just gonna skip 6. Do you think I could just do that, Scotty?
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming if people are listening, they've seen a lot of them too.
Oh yeah.
All you really got to know about Fast Six is that Letty's alive. Jason Statham's younger brother is also a bad guy, and Dom's team takes him down. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. There's a really long scene going off the tarmac with an airplane flying. That's like 15 miles long. Takes like 20 minutes of the movie. But those are the big 3 things of 6. It's a good one too, but that one kind of falls by the way a little bit. But we made a couple references to kind of Marvel connections. I said this to Ricky Flicks yesterday. What I could see being a pretty good idea is almost like a Civil War-esque 10 and 11.
Wow.
So especially with now we can touch back on that end credit. You got Jason Statham beating a punching bag. Turns out there's actually a person inside the punching bag he's beaten up, trying to get information out of. And then someone knocks on the door. He's in some basement. And who do you think opens the door? It's Han. The guy, Jason Statham, kills Han, movies back, and then shows up to who knows what. Is Han going to get revenge, or was this planned by both of them all along? I'm saying this could be the start of a revenge tour for Han, you could say.
Wow.
So maybe no one dies. Maybe no one dies there, but so you got Han and Jason Statham, Deckard Shaw, Han and Deckard Shaw on 2 sides. Obviously, Dom is going to be with Han. A lot of their team is going to be on Han's side. So you got Tyrese, Ludacris. I'm blanking all the character names right now. But
Letty.
Dom's crew. Other side though, I say The Rock stays with Deckard Shaw. So got Luke Hobbs, Deckard Shaw teaming up. Got Owen Shaw, younger brother. I don't know,
Helen Mirren.
Mother Shaw. And I'm not sure who else they could have on their side. Got a whole crew of Samoans, Roman Reigns from
Roman Reigns.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hell yeah, I love Roman Reigns.
More WWE people in the movie.
Dave Bautista as the villain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who knows where Jacob would side on all this? Because it seems like Jacob and the Shaw family, I don't know if they're on good terms or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and you could really kind of go from there because if all of the heroes are on the same side, what, all of them versus Cypher, like Charlie Theron, like.
I think Scotty Furious just gave us the best clip we're gonna get from this YouTube by saying we're gonna make a civil war out of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh my god!
Absolute gold. Let's clip that, Flicks.
Yes, and I do want to say one last thing from me, because even though I think that's probably like the best idea that they'll ever have, that means they're. I don't know if they'll ever do that because. Family going against family, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
right.
but Dr. O, you mentioned like how more absurd can they go because they went to space. Like, you think they're at the peak? I don't think so. Tyrese mentioned this a couple of days ago. Transformers, Fast and Furious crossover.
That's actually a genius idea.
It's genius.
That should happen. That should happen, right?
It fits.
Yeah,
it fits almost too well.
I love that idea. All right. That does it for our highly anticipated review of F9 next week. Well, first off, before I just have to say thank you to Scotty Furious, Fast and Furious super fan, for joining us today. Next week, we're going to be reviewing No Sudden Move, Steven Soderbergh's new heist movie, which currently has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's in theaters and on HBO Max this Friday. I'm now going to send it over to Ricky Flicks for this week's top billing. All right, before we get to top billing, we actually ended the interview with and review with Scotty Furious a little early, but we were talking off recording about a major thing that happened at the end of this movie that I feel like we just don't have a choice. We had to hop back on. So Scotty Furious is back with us. We have to mention the Paul Walker reference at the end of the movie. Right. So Ricky Flex, you're more familiar with the franchise. Why don't you take it from here and let me give you your thoughts on what happened there?
Well, Scotty, I'll give it to you in a second, I guess. I'll just first say in my eyes, I think they're doing it's ridiculous that they're like having this persona, what they're doing with the Paul Walker's character, as in they don't just say he's dead or something. I think it's ridiculous. And this movie though had a sick ending cameo with his original car from the Fast and Furious. Phenomenal. I thought that was genius. Like, I didn't even think about it. He's going through this neighborhood, just going 100 miles an hour to go to the family barbecue, the dinner. I thought that was great, but I want to pass it off to you, Scotty, because it probably hit more home to you. Maybe a tear in the eye.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really expecting it. Kind of once we got to I knew from the trailer they had some type of family barbecue again. As they do, it's usually one a movie. There's a barbecue or something like that where the family gets together. And yeah, I wasn't really expecting it. They referenced Paul Walker, and that Mia said Brian has the kids in the safest of hands, which I think that's true. In the Fast and Furious realm, I think having all the kids go off with Brian, that's the safest thing. So we didn't have to worry about the kids. As far as the Paul Walker reference, like,
thank God we didn't have to worry about the kids.
I mean, it's
stay-at-home dad, Paul Walker.
Yeah, no, I mean, franchise. Surprised he didn't pull up in a minivan, but maybe that would have been
Furious 7.
All right, we're being disrespectful. That's my fault.
Yeah. I'll reel it back in with I mean, when the news of his death, like 6-7 years ago. No, that's not that. 5 years ago, 6 years ago. That I remember really tearing up that day. So at the end of Fast 7, when it just goes to white screen for Paul after the "See You Again," like that was waterfalls. This didn't bring back waterfalls in my eyes, but No, it was thought it was a good way to end it. I do agree that like they can't just keep going on with talking about Brian in every single movie when everyone knows he's passed away. But once again, I think they did the best they could to give a small, nice reference and kind of once again leave people leaving the theaters with a nice
Mhm.
little
Yeah,
smile. I mean, if
I
they didn't,
agree.
Right.
yeah,
I
It's
saw.
but it's also like the franchise, like it kind of goes with the fact that they don't let anyone go. They don't let anyone go away from this
Wow.
franchise. And then but it's like but I think it also just goes with the theme that kind of it's like it's gone from just being a Dominic Toretto thing to being like a Vin Diesel thing where like everyone in that franchise is family except for maybe The Rock. But everyone's family there.
Right.
yeah.
Final
Yeah.
thoughts, Flex?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think your spin zone's better than this one, but it's just kind of I found it kind of odd how it's not subtle anymore how crazy and absurd everything is. Like obviously Tyrese, we talked about how he said we're invincible and things like that. So they're very self-aware of how absurd this the franchise is. So it's just kind of weird how they're not so self-aware of like the Walker death to in relation to the movie. I would find that they would want to like I don't know like just have it kind of correlate, but obviously they think that's not a good idea. So I don't know. Those are just my final thoughts, but I did like the ending. I thought that was a very cool idea with the car going down the past the house or in the house.
Yes. Very nice. So that does it for our review of F9.